You're listening to The Fan.
Hey, Christopher, check this out. Not only on July 8th, 9th, and 10th are you and I both out of town.
Yeah.
Ben's also out on the 8th.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yep.
So the old Tenna Fitzgerald, steered by Meat Sauce Paul Lambert, also loses Ben on that Monday.
I'm excited for him. This might be your coming out party.
This could be your breakout.
Yeah, dude.
It'll be fine.
I have a really good name for the power trip with those 3 days while we're gone. Worst case scenario.
You know, I will say that, you know, just keep in mind,
below that.
just maybe, let Max sit in the big chair. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Oh, by the way,
Sauce, your thoughts.
I'm out then on Monday as well.
did I tell you guys, by the way, Parker Fox is in with us today?
Is he?
Yeah, he's coming
Go
on by.
Zepps. Look at 2 Zepps on one show.
Okay.
Calm
and
down.
2 Gophs.
Two
And 2
what
ghosts.
now?
Zephyrs. He was a Miami Dade guy.
Okay, cool. I wasn't too sure you said. I really wasn't. I'm like, what?
Some new modern phrase.
Muscle come in.
Muscle?
What?
Yeah, Muscle.
Muscle come in on Monday for you.
Muscle will be here on the 8th, probably, right?
Right?
I mean, he'll probably be hungover from the 4th, but still.
Yeah, right. I already took that day off from work.
Don't be
You're
smart.
responsible.
Well, good job.
Wait, you took what day off? The 4th?
The 8th.
Oh.
gonna
I'm
be
really
long.
confused right
Be a
now.
long
Yes,
week,
same.
long weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, Sauce has got like 2 weeks to book, 3 days of guests and have fun.
I'll book him on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Book him, Dano.
You got it, Sauce. You got it.
Do you guys remember the Bookham Dano thing? I'll never forget it when I said it on here. Because I assumed it was from Lethal Weapon, and he was saying Bookham Dano like Danny Glover. I just
Like
never.
his character's name was Danny Glover.
Lethal Weapon? Bang.
Oh,
It does
yeah.
bang. It's bang.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. You kind of,
Yeah.
you look like Riggs.
Oh, yeah?
If
Is
you
that
had
right?
long hair.
If I had hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of other things. But yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Badass. Or like how he drowns him in like a little puddle at the end. You know what I'm talking about? The fight, and then just
No.
I just watched it, so
Fresh in your mind.
yeah. God, Lethal Weapon's good.
Hey, did anybody? I'm really talking about Hawk because Sauce and I watched the NBA draft last night, not together, separately. Did anybody start the Bear last night?
I had a gig last
No.
night.
I was going to, but the freaking draft sucked me in with the stupid trades, and it got me pumped. I'm like, all right, I'm actually watching sports
Yeah.
tonight.
I
watched the Bear tonight.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of it yet.
The Bear's great. I watched a new documentary on. Have you seen that TikTok cult thing?
No.
Yeah.
I haven't
On
seen it.
Netflix?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have not finished that yet. That is one thing that we started, and then I think we're like 3 or 4 episodes in, maybe.
Oh, it's wild. I don't like it. It makes you feel.
It makes you feel gross and icky. Well, she's still in it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yep.
That's the
Like
finale.
even after
all this,
she's
Yeah.
still in there.
and because you can't do anything to. Cult leaders.
But all those other people that are in the actual documentary, they got out.
Right, they got out, but they're like she's still
Like they
brainwashed.
I know.
Bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Oh, no.
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Our fearless leader, Chad Abbott, just sent me a text.
Oh, no.
Tell Zach to plan for best of the 8th, 9th, and 10th, as well as the 4th and the 5th.
That's probably the right answer.
This is KFAN News with Chris Hockey.
That's me.
Presented by the St. Paul Saints.
Thank you to the St. Paul Saints. That's exactly right. We love you. They are on the road now. We'll let you know when they're back at CHS Field. Get your tickets at saintsbaseball.com. And do not forget, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, Wednesdays at Bernie's coming right up here in July. So lots to get to. Lots of reasons to go down to CHS Field. Guys, you might have heard 2 huge asteroids are going to swing by the Earth. But scientists are saying not to worry about it. Here's Tammy Trujillo.
The European Space Agency says an asteroid over a mile wide will be zipping by the Earth this afternoon at a relatively close 4 million miles away. It poses no threat, but they say it's the closest flyby on record of an asteroid that size. On Saturday, another huge asteroid will fly past our planet. This recently discovered asteroid's a lot smaller at about 800 feet wide, but will come a lot closer at around 180,000 miles from Earth. Scientists say there's no risk of it hitting us, but at the same time noted that if it did, it would cause considerable damage. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thanks.
She sounded like AI, didn't she?
Yeah, she
Alan
sounded a little
Iverson?
fake. Dude, if an asteroid a mile wide hit us, we're all dead.
Well, I would guess.
dead.
Yeah. Bye.
That side of the
Really?
earth would be in big trouble.
are
yeah,
you
for sure.
No, like
If it
everybody's
hit
dead.
Texas, would that affect us?
Yes. I've watched so many videos on this stuff.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would, because it would probably at the speed it's going.
Floods?
It would knock the world or the earth off we'd be gone in a matter of minutes.
It would completely destroy most major cities in the United States
Yeah.
for an asteroid. For an asteroid to wipe out most everything on Earth, it would have to be massive. Scientists estimate it would take an asteroid about 7 to 8 miles wide, crashing into the Earth to destroy everything on Earth. But 1 mile wide, it would completely destroy most major cities.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, what it would cause and all that would be terrible. Yeah.
But just think of the vastness of space. Tommy, this will blow your mind. But the Milky Way galaxy, this is one of those things in 30 seconds you're going to go, so is that good? The Milky Way galaxy in about 4 or 5 billion years is going to collide with the Andromeda galaxy, which is the closest galaxy to us, the nearest star. And when those two galaxies, when the two systems combine, we're not going to hit anything. Like nothing's going to hit. Like our planets won't hit other planets. Our stars won't hit others. Like the closest galaxy is going to basically crash into ours and will probably not hit anything. That's how vast and empty space is. So that's to the point that Chris just said. You can be millions of miles away and you're like, God dang, that's close. Not really.
But and here's the thing:
it's fine.
We're fine.
a player from that year was traded last night
Correct.
by the Timberwolves.
Well, it's the Andromeda pick.
That was a sports joke, guys.
That was
very
really
topical.
good.
Thank
That
you.
was really good.
That was really funny,
Wow, I
Hugs
feel good
Daddy.
about it. Thank you. Thank you.
Not that far off.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Armageddon.
Getting back to that, how do you start a negotiation in the NBA draft and you say like, hey, well, I want to trade a future pick. Like, cool. What do you want? Like, how about 2050?
Crazy. I still don't
They're like,
understand.
no, that's way too far. Okay, I don't know.
I think
20,
you
40.
do it like this. You do it like Price is Right cliffhanger. You go 24? No. 25? No. 26? No. 2027? No. 2028? No. 2029? No. 2030? We'll swap picks in 30. Unprotected in 31. Okay, fine.
Seriously, the team could be moved to Utah or someplace where they don't have a team. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like you guys.
Utah has a team.
When you guys agree to stuff like a couple months away and you hope you're dead by.
Yeah, that's my life.
Yeah.
How about forget the teams for a second? This is the beauty of Tim Conley, right? Tim Conley can go wherever he wants. He can sign
Dorf on golf?
as much as he.
Dorf on golf.
Tim Conway. He can sign whatever deal he wants. He's going to get wined and dined wherever he goes. So he can show up in Minnesota, smoke a cigar, and go, I'll give 90 picks for Rudy Gobert. And they'll go, God, he overpaid. We're going to trade away picks in 2030 and 2031 for Rob Dillingham. And it was like, man, this guy, that's 7 years from now. He's trading away things long after he's gone. What does he care? He's going to win a title, burn the place to the ground. He's going to go scorched earth. And we're going to love him forever and build a statue because he won us a title or two. Who cares?
The word on the
I
street
love
is
this
he
guy.
tried to trade a 2014 pick as well.
And the Spurs almost fell for it.
Yeah, they almost did.
Why not? He should bring a picture of an ultrasound to the next negotiation and go, we'll give you this
Yeah.
for pick number 3. And the Spurs might say yes.
Doesn't
That's
have
crazy.
fingernails.
We'll find out when we drive up to Detroit Lakes. Every billboard on the way up to Detroit Lakes in a couple of weeks will tell us exactly how far every baby is ahead of time. There's
when
so
are you
many
guys there?
billboards. 2 weeks from
Next 2
tomorrow.
weeks. Yeah.
The 12th.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
I play there tomorrow night, and then we're there.
Do you really?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you guys are out 8, 9, 10. You're back for one day, and then you guys are Detroit Lakes on
Exactly.
Friday.
We go up to Detroit Lakes on Thursday the 11th.
Yeah, the evening. Yeah, the afternoon or whatever. Yeah,
And then we
and
we
then
go on.
show on Friday.
Exactly. And it'll be the second initials major of the year. Johnny Creasel. We were going to rotate. We were going to invite people like Ben Lieber or Carly or Tommy or whoever, but
Steve
Creasel
Alberto's
won, and we're like, what do we do with this now? So we're going to bring him up to Detroit Lakes. He can defend his title. That is, 12th? July 12th.
So, Corey, you're about halfway through the year and there's 2 majors. Are you planning on 4 or do you not really know
There
yet?
might be a third, but
Okay.
we have a pretty big initials guest announcement soon.
Yeah.
I would argue in the 10-year history of initials, this is like in the top 2 or 3 for biggest names that have ever played.
Really?
That's around the corner. And then the initials tournament bracket is done. I got to work with Zacho on putting the graphics together. We'll reveal the bracket here in like a week and a half. And the tournament starts in late July.
Dang.
So we're about a month away from the
It's all
tournament.
happening, baby.
It's all happening.
We might have a massive one as well in September.
Also true. That would be the biggest name of all time.
What?
Yes,
You
we
guys are a lot of
No.
teas. A lot of teas.
So the one we have one locked in, but we just can't say it yet. One locked in for July that is in the top 2 or 3 biggest names that have ever played. But Sauce is correct. We have one that, if the stars align, and it's not impossible, would be the biggest name in the history of initials in September.
History of the show, maybe?
He honestly would be, I just said he.
Yeah.
He would be a top 5-ish guest ever in the history of the Power Trip Morning Show, and he would definitely be the biggest initials name ever. It's possible. We'll tell you during the break. We'll tell you guys during the break.
Can I bring my neighbor in?
Brilliant. Who do you think you are, Mark Rosen? Tio, you got to go?
Yeah, I love you guys.
Love
Happy
you, Thomas.
4th.
All right,
Best
dude,
time
you're
of
the
the
best.
year. Love you
Have
guys.
fun, buddy. See you later.
'Tis the season. Love you guys.
Host of the Bad Friends podcast and comedian Andrew Santino is hitting the road. You can catch him on the Freeze Peach Tour when he stops by the Pantages Theater on Saturday, February 22nd for 2 shows. Tickets go on sale Friday. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. For full details, head over to KFAN.com, make the keyword calendar.
Bye, Thomas. Love you, buddy. Love you. See you later. Have fun finding your dad. Did he tell you what he asked us, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe Zach's response was, well, I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's realistic,
seen-
but he has seen that film.
We have a scene from that movie.
You suck.
Wow.
You suck.
Okay, PA's in that movie?
Yeah, he sure is.
Well, he's got some splaining to do. Boy. Sauce, it's your turn.
And fun Power Trip, presented by All Around Property Preservation.
The Minnesota Timberwolves last night made a massive trade in the draft. They traded a 2031 unprotected first-round pick and a protected 2030 pick from the to the Spurs for Rob Dillingham, a stud point guard from Kentucky. He's 19. He's 6'2". He only started 1 game last year, but Kentucky was loaded with guards. He had 35 points against Tennessee, which is the most by a Kentucky player against a top 5 team in 25 years. He is very good. This puts them into like the second apron. I don't understand any of that, but whatever that means. And then at pick 27, they took Terrence Shannon Jr., a guard out of Illinois, who's 6'6". He averaged 23 points last season. They have 37 today.
Hawk, what's it called that John Force does? Is it drag racing?
Drag racing, yeah. Yeah, funny car. Yep.
Funny car. That was the phrase I was looking for. Doesn't it sound like Rob Dillingham
He definitely
drives
could be.
funny car?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
Did you guys see that crash?
What a
by the way?
name,
I was gonna say,
man.
didn't you see the crash?
Oh, yeah, he should have died.
I
How
can't
does
believe
he survive
I
that?
can't believe it, man.
And he's old as hell.
Yeah, he's in. Yeah, I was.
Old people die falling down the stairs. How does he survive that crash?
I don't know. Again, how many 75-year-olds do you know that should be driving? Period. Right.
Right.
I mean, honestly, that's when things start to get questionable. Right.
Right.
He's going 300 miles an hour, and the engine blows, and I can't believe he's alive.
Rubbin's racing.
Not normally at 300 miles an hour.
Dude,
Not in that sport.
my dad's 86. When I call him to see what's going on, and I'm like, hey, what are you up to? He's like, I'm just running errands. I'm like, put your phone down and drive. Right? He doesn't have Bluetooth. I was like, as soon as I know he's on the road, I'm like, oh, God, I'll talk to you later. What are you doing?
Man.
And I don't trust him with Bluetooth anyway, right?
Yeah.
If he did have a Bluetooth thing and it's like one of the the touch screens, I don't trust him to hit a whole bunch of buttons while he's driving. The guy's 86.
Yeah.
I don't even like to do that.
No.
I can't stand this is such a boomer comment. I can't stand the new vehicles that everything's a touch screen. Like I don't want just give me some knobs and buttons.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now we're talking.
Calm down, Zach. He said
Zach.
and buttons.
Oh, Tommy's coming back in.
Zach, don't you just love touching knobs?
Well, yeah, twisting them.
Yeah, pushing
Okay.
them,
Everybody-
pulling
maybe
them,
everybody can
bop
take
it.
a-
bopping it.
Maybe everybody can take a break.
Yeah, Hawk got another letter.
Give me all the knobs, right?
Yeah, I do like the ones that are hybrids. I like the ones where a lot of the like the air conditioning is a knob. Some of those
sure.
buttons are not. But then like I don't mind like your Apple CarPlay being touch screen.
No, but my all the radio stuff, all the radio and all the temperature stuff, just make them knobs and dials and buttons.
But even the ones that are touch screens, a lot of the knobs and buttons are on your steering wheel, right? So you don't have to technically touch the screen. You could still hit a bunch of buttons from the wheel.
You know, all it does is the touchscreens remind me how dirty my fingers
That's
always
true
are.
as well.
Always filthy.
Good point.
It drives me crazy. What the hell was I eating? Fungus?
What are you, a groom of the stool? Get your fingers off that touchscreen.
I rode in a Uber that was a Ford Mustang Mach-E. I've never heard of them, but
Yeah, that's the electric Mustangs. They look nothing like Mustangs, but they're pretty badass.
I couldn't believe it. Like, is this supposed to be a Mustang? But anyway, there's a big knob right in the middle of the touchscreen.
So I'm saying.
Very nice.
Easy hogs. Easy. That's what I'm
Did you sit in the back of the Uber and just go, hey, mister, what does that knob do?
He kept telling me to keep my fingers off his knob.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had to tell him that.
Sauce, the sports is yours.
The second round starts today. The first overall pick last night was from the Hawks, and they took Zachary Risase. And then the Wizards took Alex Saar.
I will take a peanut butter cup, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I apologize. I just assumed you would mispronounce it.
It's
Not bad. I even wrote it down.
It was like 96% of the way right. So
Reese Ashay?
Again, that's close. I can't even pronounce it perfectly, but I know how. I don't know why I struggle to. You're very, very close. Paul, you did something right. Close enough.
And then the third pick was shooting guard Reed Shepherd from Kentucky.
That one you nailed.
Always take a player from Kentucky.
And it truly looks like Reed Shepherd looks like a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah.
That is in some kind of Little Big League movie.
Yeah, there was I don't know which kid, but he was drafted like in the teens, and I'm like, is that an 11-year-old? I'm like, how old is that guy?
Oh, the kid that went to the Bulls?
Yeah. I'm like, that's like a teenager. It's unbelievable.
But not an 18 or 19-year-old.
No,
it looks like a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, again, what Tim Connolly traded to San Antonio, a couple of 12-year-olds.
The Twins crushed the D-backs 8-3 last night. Correa was 3 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI. Santana 3 for 5. Miranda 3 for 4. The Twins are 44-36. They trail the Guardians by 8, who just had their 7-game winning streak snapped. The Twins and the D-backs will battle today at 2:40. David Feston will make his major league debut for the Twins. And that is Twins News, brought to you by Quantum Fiber.
Doesn't his nickname, again, I know, I'm not saying this is super clever, but doesn't it have to be Uncle Festa?
I mean,
it has to,
or
yeah.
Ford Festa.
Ford Festa's not bad.
Yeah. I think.
Like, I hope he has a nephew, right? Or a niece.
Yeah.
Uncle Festa.
Just to call him Uncle Festa.
Man.
I mean, shouldn't we have Adam's Family Night every 5th Twins game?
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, do I have to do all of the promotions for the Saints?
No.
Or can't Derek get off his lazy ass and do something?
Oh, poor Derek.
Come on, Derek.
Back to the draft for a second, Corey. The one thing that I think kind of shocked you was Zach Edey went 9th overall.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
That's crazy. I was really
I don't think it's going to translate. I don't think it's going to translate.
hell is that?
I would like to be proven wrong. I
plays
hope the
for
kid
Purdue.
does well, but I just don't think it's going to work.
7'4". I was shocked by that.
Yeah,
they reached hard.
A couple of months ago, he was a legit second-round projection. People thought he was going to be a second-rounder. Then he dominated this year, played really well in the tournament, and then his stock was rising, but I don't think anybody thought he was going top 10. I think there were people saying that the Lakers or somebody in the back half of the teens was maybe going to reach.
Right.
I did not expect a top 10 pick. The Grizzlies have a big opinion. I've always, it's like the Michael Penix thing with the Falcons. When you swing big, you either look like a genius or an idiot, right? It's not if you don't take just the safe pick. So I think the Grizzlies are dead wrong, but maybe in 2 or 3 years they could look back and say, this is why we took him, because he's kicking ass and he's a perfect balance for John Morant and whatever. I don't know. I don't think it's going to work, but, good luck to the kid. I hope he's a 10-time All-Star.
Right.
Me too.
I hope it works.
It was very odd. I did not see that happening.
But for example, even though I know we have Gobert in Towns,
Yeah.
If I had heard that the Wolves, even if it was a couple of 12-year-olds, if they had traded up to pick 8 for Zach Edey, I'd go, what are we doing?
Correct.
That's an F-.
F-.
Right? So I would have been furious. It doesn't make sense with the Wolves either way. It makes more sense for Memphis. I get it. I don't know. I think that's a reach. Doesn't make sense.
Isn't there like a precedence now because of Jokic of like just we'll take a flyer on maybe a guy that's unorthodox, maybe doesn't look the part, but we can find a way to make it work.
Yeah,
maybe.
The drafted him 9th isn't taking a flyer, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty big investment.
Yeah. Jokic he got drafted during a Taco Bell commercial in the second round.
That's a great bit.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Really
Yep.
I do wonder, though, and this might be jumping the gun, I do wonder if the Wolves' success with Gobert and Towns is slowly pushing the ship the other way.
100%
where people are going, well, all right, we can't have 5 guys that are all 6'2". We got to have some size. Like, even Donovan Klingon or whatever last night that went to Portland.
From Star Wars?
Exactly.
Star Trek, sorry.
I mean, is that a guy that probably would have gone 7th in the last couple of years? Maybe not, because he seems to be more of a traditional center.
Right.
But maybe teams are going, all right, we need star, guards or wing players, but we got to have somebody that can protect the rim.
What an ass.
Yeah, what an ass, Rosie. You get it.
Well, I think
maybe it's coming back a little bit.
That is the closest. That is a good shout, Court, because that is the closest kind of comparison as them having Jaren Jackson Jr. He's kind of more in the. I guess he would be more in a Karl Anthony Towns role, and then Zach Edey would be like the Rudy Gobert, essentially.
Yeah. Maybe it's starting to swing the other way a little bit. Who knows?
Well, I kind of hope it does. I mean, for our sake, because it doesn't look like we're going to do much different. I mean, outside of adding these guys to the roster, like we're still going to have the Twin Towers.
Yep.
But I would say after watching the NBA more so than I ever have in the second half of this NBA season into the playoffs, is that I think teams are starting to figure out not just like offensively, but defensively, we got to slow the game down as much as possible. Like playing really, really good high end defense with bigger guys is probably a better answer than trying to find this run and gun, let's just pop threes the whole time and do what Golden State did for so many years. It might be easier to find these guys like the Timberwolves are building and slow the game down and keep the games at like 105 to 100 versus 130 to 125.
Well, let's expand on what you're saying, right? In the 3-point shooting era, statistics have basically wiped out the mid-range jumper, right? That it just doesn't make any sense to take a lot of mid-range jumpers. You want layups or threes. That's the highest percentage efficiency. Mm-hmm. So maybe what teams are realizing is, all right, we have a bunch of guys that can shoot the three. We have a bunch of guys that can defend the wing. But if we can't stop anybody when they drive, then what's the point? Because then people are getting easy layups. So maybe this is just we need people like Ant and Jaden McDaniels that can guard the outside. We need Gobert to guard the inside. Maybe this is the Grizzlies doing the same thing, like you're saying, going, we don't expect Zach Edey to be jacking up threes, but when Ant's coming down the lane, we got to give him something to think about.
Right.
And let's make it Zach Edey. Who knows? I have no idea if that's going to work. But
right. The Lynx play the Dallas Wings today at noon. Hogs, Daddy.
Can't wait.
Dallas Wings?
Yeah.
Noon?
Yep. It's at noon.
A noon game?
Yeah, that's what this says.
Any reason?
No idea. Summer? I don't know. Kids.
Summer.
No, but sorry, like kids are out of school that bit. Maybe that's what Dallas is doing.
But, I mean, they've been out of school for like a month.
I have no idea. That would be my summer camp stuff. I don't know.
Summer camp stuff. Okay.
I don't pay attention.
I mean, you almost pronounced the first pick's name right.
Yeah, that's something right.
I thought you had a pretty good segment.
Thanks,
I mean, Chad Abbott's texting me otherwise, but I thought you did fine. More of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on The Fan.
The Fan.
Fantasy football training camp is back at Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Join Paul Charchian and the Fantasy Football Weekly crew in the full deck ballroom on Friday, August 16th from 6 to 9. You can stop by for the live broadcast from 6 to 8. Then stick around for the Fantasy Football Deep Dive. Great prizes to be had, including a $1,000 grand prize. Get the full details now at KFAN.com. Just make the keyword calendar.
Thank you, Zacho. 742. Normally we do Vikings news here, but of course it's that dead space. We don't have any real Vikings news. But thank you anyway, Radco and Radco.com. I do have this story from ProFootballTalk.com. Yesterday I never got to tell you guys about it, but you probably read it elsewhere. The Jaguars are officially getting that new stadium. They were the most likely team to move to London now that the Jaguars have a deal with Jacksonville. They probably won't be moving to London, so if not them, Who, and if not now, when?
Maybe an expansion team.
Well,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
going to be. I think it's going to be an expansion.
So
team.
Ben, check this out. Here's some of the details. $1.4 billion in renovation. The Jags are paying $625. The city's paying $625. Plus, the city's going to pay another $150 million over the next 2 seasons for maintenance and construction prep. And to Chris's point, this is a 30-year lease. 30 years. So they're not going to London.
No.
They will have a reduced capacity in the 2026 season during construction, and then in 2027, they're going to play somewhere else. And the two front runners are the campus of the University of Florida, and then the Orlando Sports Complex kind of area. So I guess there's a spot in Orlando. So for at least one season, the Jags are going to be somewhere else besides Jacksonville. 2027. Then they are expected to be back in the new stadium or the renovated stadium by 2028.
And not I don't know Florida geography that well, but those aren't necessarily close.
No, Jacksonville's like on the northeast
side. It's in the very corner of the northeast corner. And then those campus sites they're not close.
No.
I mean, they're hours away.
Nope.
Well, again, it's not London, though, right? So there you go.
No, it's not London.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, while I got you, Ben, let me take it in a different direction. Because, we're very excited that EA Sports is ready to unveil College Football 25.
Yeah.
It couldn't be here soon enough. I cannot wait. Yeah. Did you see that they released the 25 toughest places to play as far as their rankings?
I did see that.
Have you played in any of them? Is what I was asking. Have you played? You didn't play at LSU?
Well, so here's the thing is, I saw 2 different deals.
Oh, okay.
And I saw Kyle Field, Texas A&M's Kyle Field, as number 1 on one of them, and then it was down the list, still in the top 10, I think, in another list.
No, you say you're right. I'm seeing a different list here too.
Are you seeing that? Yeah, because I'm like,
weird.
wait a minute, isn't
the
this
one
the
on
same?
Athletic is different than this one?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's weird.
I know.
Okay. So
I didn't.
Yeah. So Kyle Field, did you play there?
I have played there, and it is. Whatever list is where it's number 1, I completely agree with that. Now, I've never played in any of those other SEC stadiums. I mean, there's a lot of stadiums I have not played in. I've only heard about, just as like everybody else. But personally, being at that stadium, I would say it's a journey and experience that all football fans have to see. Whether you like college football or the NFL football only, and you feel like you're biased, I don't care. You have to go to Kyle Field on a Saturday. It's really hard to explain because as Nate probably knows over here, it's a little cultish, right? Texas A&M is a little cultish, right? It is very much a military presence. They indoctrinate all the freshmen when they come in. They have to go to cheer school. But there's nothing like it. They don't have cheerleaders. They have these yell leader guys that do all the hand signals, and the whole crowd of 110,000 people outside of the visitors, everybody knows the cheers. So the whole stadium sways and rocks, and they chant, and
That's so fun.
It is the most fun atmosphere I've ever seen. And, it's even a little bit more tamed down because they had this huge bonfire on Friday nights that they can't do anymore because a couple of kids got hurt. Was it probably 20 years ago now?
Yeah, I remember it well.
But it used to be the pageantry for around college football there, used to be even more epic. But as far as the game day goes, I would say on the pro side, you have to go to Arrowhead Stadium, and then on the college side, you have to go to Kyle Field.
Imagine it during the Johnny Manziel era.
Oh, man. Yeah. Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Whole, jeez, man.
Yeah.
They got a lot of money down there.
So other stadiums, you tell me if you played in any. I know you didn't play at a lot of them, but so Texas A&M, then Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, Georgia, Penn State, Wisconsin, Oklahoma.
Definitely Oklahoma.
How was that?
I think they went through a stadium renovation after I played there. I did not think it was that impressive. I mean, it was cool, and it's big, and the game day atmosphere is neat, but I did not think it was like a really intimidating, hard place to play. Another one that's on the list. Well, so I've called games at Penn State.
Sure.
That place rocks. That place is
Happy
awesome.
Valley.
Now that place is like
Beaver Stadium.
Yeah. It's like riding a wooden roller coaster, right? There's parts of it that are exciting because you feel like it's going to collapse.
Really?
That's the way that stadium feels.
Wow.
Like you can see how old it is, and it literally shakes.
Holy
like
moly.
the stadium shakes, like the press box shakes because of all the crowd. There's another one on the list is Oklahoma State. Now that one was number 10 on one list, but then didn't make it on another list.
Yeah,
I think.
right. Yeah, the one I'm looking at's not on there yet.
Boone Pickens Stadium, fabulous. They have these cowbells, and it's a super intimate stadium. It's like one of those. They have like maybe 10 feet on the sidelines from the players to the student section in the crowd.
Whoa,
it is awesome.
That's neat.
They know how to do college football down in Oklahoma, and both Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, awesome places.
It's when you go to an NFL stadium, they're all NFL stadiums, if you know what I mean. I mean, some are more intense than others. There's no doubt about it. I'm sure it's different to play a little bit, but it must be entirely different to play at a place, to play in a stadium like that compared to playing at some colleges, just like a regular college. It must be an entirely different feel on game day. As a player.
It's yeah. Oh yeah. It's not even close. That's why I get it why some people are like, I don't even watch the NFL. I'm only college football. I'm like, I get it, man. Like there's pageantry, there's student sections, there's a marching band. There's just it's a looser crowd. The tickets are more accessible. The game is more accessible. It's more family oriented. The NFL, I mean, even for regular season, it's a hard ticket, man. Like there's a certain group of people that I think would make football fun that can't even afford to go.
Yeah, and there's a certain amount of people who do go to the NFL games who are just there to be seen at the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to college football games, they're there bleeding and crying because they love this team.
It's mostly Tommy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not even in the stadium.
No. He's still in the parking lot tailgating.
Bleeding, yeah.
And for
bleeding
the most
and crying.
He got banned. He's not allowed in anymore.
Well, he
Maybe the title of his autobiography.
He admits he doesn't even go to the game. He just drinks in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like I would think, in my experience, I would take a 30,000 seat college stadium versus a 75 to 80,000 seat NFL stadium experience any day.
Yeah. I love college football.
I mean,
I know.
yeah. I went to the Big House, Michigan, Ohio State in like 2003, Braylon Edwards and all that. And that was, I mean, that's one of the most elite sports experience I've ever been at.
Oh, good.
I mean,
Camp Randall on a Saturday morning. Oh my Lord! They start drinking about 4 a.m.
It's different when there. A lot of local people understand this. I mean, it's different when you've got a 55,000 seat stadium and only 20,000 people are there. Now that's different, right?
Duh.
The hell's that supposed to mean? That was a shot.
But thankfully, I never had to experience
Well,
that.
I'm surprised he didn't pile on. It was a Gopher shot. He was ripping the Gophers.
Yeah. No, I don't do that anymore.
I'll tell you what, I love that stadium, and it compared to playing at the Metrodome, oof, my goodness. For a college football game.
There were like 12 people there.
Well, even when the place was packed, it still was the Metrodome.
Yeah.
For a college football game. That doesn't work, man.
Yeah.
I still have not been to a Gopher football game at Huntington Bank Stadium.
It's a
you're
cool
fired.
stadium.
I went to Tommy's wedding there, so I've been in the building.
Yeah.
Does that count?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rip it, but it is a cool stadium.
Yeah, it is a cool stadium.
I do love the look of the stadium.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Right where it's
Good
set.
spot.
Yeah.
It's unlike, no offense to lovely U.S. Bank Stadium, when it came to location of the stadium, they did it right. I
for
mean,
sure.
It's awesome. It's right there on campus. Everything about it should be perfect. If
Walking distance to Canes. Walking distance to
that was one of the things they
Mariucci.
thought about for sure. Yeah. So anyway, there
Yeah,
you go.
sweet spot.
Pretty cool. All right, that's your. Thank you, Radko. There's a little football talk in there.
Sauce, you got anything else?
Hogs,
Sports related?
This is more college football 2025 edition.
Let's go, baby.
Did you watch the trailer yesterday where Herb Street explained how they have almost every game day experience is set for that stadium?
No.
Like they have almost every detail of the Clemson Rock bit.
Yeah.
The
Jump
hitting
around at Wisconsin.
All that. The hitting the turtle in Maryland.
Did they get
the
the,
play like a
the
champion
music
bit?
licenses for all these too?
That
Some
I
of
don't
them
know.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to have House of
But
Pain.
they're
There were a
playing
couple
one of
that
the
they
songs.
didn't. Yeah, actually, I read a story about the ones. There were 2 that they couldn't get or something like that. Yeah.
It's
but
impressive.
They have, I mean, they have the bit with the the lion at Penn State where he does the push-ups. They thought of every bit.
They have the bit where the Gophers miss extra points.
They have
or run it when they're down by 6. Yeah, they
actually
have
they don't
bit.
miss extra points. Kesich is the real deal. We love that dude.
Yeah,
Wisconsin's keeper of the stool. That great tradition.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be great, Hugs.
I can't wait, baby.
Yeah.
By the way, we got to get that dude back in, man.
Good dude.
Dragan Kesich is a cool dude.
Let's go.
Dude can kick.
Yeah, man.
We got to get him back in before he goes back to school and has, responsibilities. Even though when we had him in last time, it seemed like he was already on the cruise control plan, right? Didn't he have I think Matt Leinart had ballroom dancing, but wasn't he basically like Parker Fox is doing the same thing? Isn't he like bowling?
Well, wasn't
or whatever?
Yeah, these kids take
for
like 20 years.
Right, they take the easiest classes of all
wasn't
time.
Johnny Manziel online school? I think that's what he was doing at Texas A&M.
He was doing lines while he was supposed to be in school. Yeah, right.
I'm surprised you guys didn't bring up the whole McCarthy to Adam Thielen connection.
I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, they were throwing balls to each other.
I mean,
look good.
No,
are we getting the band back together?
I bring it up and shrug my
great would
shoulders
that
like
be?
you do, Sauce, because it's news, but it's not news.
But
Wouldn't it
you,
be great
you
if he came
trolling
back
it was
home?
great. But they may be in need of Brandon Powell. The one
you
thing
see
about
it?
No.
I mean, if I'm the Vikings, do I at least call Carolina? Do I at least see maybe?
You could argue the least depth the Vikings have is at wide receiver.
I don't know if I could argue.
I think the coaching staff likes Brandon Powell more than you do.
No, yeah, fine. But who do they have after that?
But I mean, you really only need three if you have a healthy T.J. Hawkinson and Aaron Jones out of the backfield.
But they don't have a healthy T.J. Hawkinson.
Not yet.
They will.
Right? But they have Adele Dazeem.
The incomparable Adele Dazeem.
Hi, I'm Robert Osborne.
And Robert Osborne.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
You're overlooking Bobby Osborne?
Yeah, I forgot about that. I apologize.
Because KJ Osborne is where? New England?
No,
I think that's right.
Where is he?
Yeah.
I think he went to the Patriots.
I think you're right.
I think you're right. That sounds right.
Yeah, let's hope the Panthers cut Thielen, and we'll get the band back together. We'll announce it at Detroit Lakes in 2 weeks.
Yep, I'd
Is
love
he
it.
from there?
He's from there. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
You know, Marnie's related to him. That's news too.
Yeah.
There's news to him when we talked to him about it.
You could tell he's like, I guess we're related. Okay,
Yeah. Sure
thing.
Leave me alone,
lady.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
So Parker Fox expected to be in here in a second. Or what?
O'clock hour, that's right,
All
yeah.
right. So we'll hang out with Parker. We'll ask him about the garbage classes that him and Dragan Kesich probably take together.
real quick,
what were you
before we
say?
get a break, while we have time, because I know Parker's going to sit down, Nate Henderson's still in here, our buddy, superhero. Nate, did you tell these guys about the golf tournament you just went to and where you were at for it?
Not really.
Tell them. Listen to this, guys. It's crazy.
So Fort Bragg or Fort Liberty now, is about 20 minutes away from Pinehurst, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting in the bleachers at number 16 when Rory missed the birdie putt and then missed the par putt.
Oh.
And then we watched him tee off on 17 into the bunker, makes a great bunker shot, makes the putt to stay even. And then we heard the roar from 18 when he missed the putt on 18. But yeah, that was super cool. Watching like elite people do elite things. You're watching golfers, it's a 528-yard par 4 and they're there in 2 and you're like, I can't hit the ball that far.
The best part about this is Hockey goes, hey, Nate, tell him what tournament you were at. It was the U.S. Open.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but I love how you don't know.
I know you guys would like the story. I just don't know the details.
Just how little you paid attention to it. It was like one of the best U.S. Opens. I thought you meant like you were at like a charity tournament.
Here's my only
it was
flex.
Funny, Hogs.
I've played Pinehurst number 2.
That's sweet.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that's it. I got a buddy who retired and works there now, and we can play it for cheap. And it was cool to be able to, like, oh yeah, I've teed off from 100 yards closer than they are right now.
I gotta say,
right.
That is one thing that I've never seen in person. I wonder what it is like, and you guys know, I'm sorry, but like to see Tiger Woods tee off must be like seeing a monster tee off.
It is super cool. I've done it. It's super cool, but repeat take for the 1,000th time, and Nate just kind of hinted at it. it's awesome for a couple of holes, but the storyline is hard to follow when you're there.
Oh, yeah.
You don't
I
get
can see
you don't get the true drama of the tournament. It's hard to follow.
It's like watching a road course race. If you're there in person.
You just
When
get to
did you
see one turn. So you get to whatever the one was at Hazeltine like a decade ago.
Well, that was before
one.
smartphones. Now you can follow every shot.
Yeah, but I get it. But I'm just saying, there's something about being able to sit on your couch and truly get the vibe of the
100%.
entire tournament. It's just not the same in person.
Scratch those suckers when they itch.
Yeah,
I
and
know what you're
gamble
saying,
on
brother.
it.
And I know some of those people that are diehards like wear the headphones so they can listen to play-by-play
that.
and stuff. But it's still not the same thing.
You can scratch those suckers at the course.
Noted.
Hey, so one last thing since we're speaking of
thanks.
golf. Shout out to Common, man. Hole-in-ones are pretty rare. Dude put
Did
a
he
hole,
get one?
hole
He got
in one
one.
yesterday.
Yeah. How about
Did he
that?
really?
Yeah.
Where at?
Don't know.
Golf course.
Wherever he was
Minnesota
golfing.
National.
Oh, good
Did
for
you
him.
see that?
Yes, nice shot.
He just got a hole-in-one on a par
Yes,
4.
I know. I just said I saw it.
He wins.
Yeah, hole-in-one.
Here's a dumb
Good
question for you.
good for Common.
Does that happen really in real life? Do people get holes in ones
Sure.
on 4?
Oh, in 4?
Oh, in
I think
4?
very,
No,
very, very, very rare.
yeah.
You got to be Bryson, right? You got to be a guy
Yeah.
that's capable of driving it like 400 yards.
Or it's some like crappy Muni course, and their par 4 really isn't a par 4.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fairway.
Didn't
I
that
know, I
roll
just
happen
said I
last
saw.
week at the Travelers? I think there was one guy who he came within inches. So
I know. I just said I saw it.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things.
Yeah, so good.
Shooter's the best. How many? Anybody have any idea how many hole-in-ones, if that's how you say it, Common has now? He's got a couple of minimum, right? I know he's had at least one before this.
Yeah, I think Tennessee yesterday said he had like 2 or 3 at least.
All right. Cool. 8 o'clock hour of the Power Trip Morning Show. After this on the Fan.